up, guys? Welcome back to FBA College Game Day. I'm Tristan.
I'm Ryan.
And today we have a very special guest here. We have your current sports coordinator, Dajour Harris.
Hey guys.
Shut up, you're trash.
Ooh.
Alright, so for the first game last week, we had Kentucky versus Duke. Kentucky winning 55, Duke winning 42. Ryan, what do you think we saw in this game?
I think we got a pretty nice back and forth match between Paulo Gonzalez and Tommy Wu. I just think for Duke, they need to do better on, having their players contribute more. I see a lot of, just always, the ball being in Paul or Chuck Hale's hands for the most part. I think they need to actually just be more of what Kentucky does. They, space the floor, they facilitate, they know when their guys are open and when they need to cut into the paint and all that kind of stuff. Stroh, what are your thoughts?
Personally, I think it was more of just Duke missing their shots. Things weren't falling, their threes weren't falling, their layups, they were missing those opportunities. And Kentucky, especially with Tommy Wu, is taking advantage of the fast break and also taking advantage of fizzing the ball around. You saw a lot of just passing around perimeter and passing his paint and back out to reset if something wasn't happening, and nobody was necessarily forcing their shot.
Alright, for the second game, we have ADM winning against UF 75-50. Dajour, we saw another dominating game from Carlos Ortiz. What are some thoughts on this game?
Simply, just like Carlos Ortiz, he's taking over the league right now. Second game with 30 plus and 20 plus rebounds. His PER is in the 60s from last time, which is insane because the next person's possibly 40s.
Right.
And I feel he's just a gem because nobody really knew about him, or at least I didn't know about him coming into the league. So I wasn't expecting him to be, MVP level type of player. And also for UF, Paul, he's producing. He's dropped 25. But then again, you also have to have the role players step up. So other role players were dropping probably around 5 or less points, maybe 7, I think at the most. So for UF, I guess it was just more Paul needs help versus ADM. He has enough role players. Carlos is carrying it. And what about you, Ryan? What do you think?
I think I agree all the same. I think the biggest question is, can Carlos, keep this up this whole kind of league? That's 2 straight games with 30 plus, 20 plus. And it's those are ungodly numbers, but do you think he's going to step up? I mean, he was ranked tier 3 this whole time around, but that's looking at the fact that no one really knew him coming into the league except for a couple people. And then Paul Wynn, I mean, he's been putting up decent numbers as we expected for a T1 player, but the question is, all his other players, can they step up and match that and help him carry? Because I think UF has a good lineup. I think they have really solid players. I think Eric Vaughn is one of them, but they just need to produce. I just don't think UF is really have their team all put together, whereas compared to ADM, they look like they're on a roll and continue this way.
Alright, next game, we got Villanova against Iowa. Villanova winning 74 to Iowa's 52. Another blowout against Iowa. Ryan, what do you think you saw in this game?
I mean, it's it's Villanova. We're just that good of a team.
Did you guys win last week?
Oh yeah, how many points did you score?
I scored 2 points.
You scored 2 points. That's my goal. Let's go.
But okay, in all honesty, I think this was an all-out team effort from Villanova. I think we really talked to each other and got to know what our scheme was and how we can run the floor and run on defense. For Iowa, I think the biggest flaw about them is just not having a cohesive plan or team together. They actually have some really good pieces. They have Kerry Toussaint, who finally came back for the second game of the week. To really carry that team. He scored 27 points, and he's an offense to be reckoned with. Shot threes from way downtown. He always drove and scored in the paint. I think the problem with them is that that's almost their all go-to thing. They're not really kicking it out to other players, and their offense is really stagnant, and they don't have a defense whatsoever that I see. And that really explains the blowout loss in this week's game and in last week's game, with Carlos carrying 30 plus points on them. So for Iowa, I just see a lot to fix with. And for Villanova, I think they're already like a contending team in the playoffs.
Wow, that's a hot take.
It is.
I mean,
It's a real take.
wow.
What do you think? What do you think?
Well, like, aside from, this man over here being a homer for his home team, I can't disagree with him though. Like, Villanova does have more of a teamwork type of, scheme together versus Iowa. Iowa, from what I've seen, they just aren't doing a team game. They're very individualistic and like not looking for the extra pass. I saw multiple times when I was watching the game, someone open on the perimeter, but they just kept driving, or someone like, taking a bad shot when they could clearly have passed it up to reset, because there's no shot clock, so there's no hurry to shoot a shot at all in this league. So you have time to reset and start a play, or maybe just attempt at something. And for Villanova, you got Norm and Justin. That's a one-two punch.
Norman got a double-double.
That's a one-two punch. Like, he got double with rebounds and assists. He got, 13 rebounds and 10 assists. He's not a tall guy either. He was out-rebounding like some long players on Iowa.
He got hops.
Yeah, and then Justin, of course, doing his thing, being an all-around great player, dropping, plus 20 plus points. I think it was 28, I assume. 27. And, just a good team.
Points.
Yeah.
My 2 points.
Yeah, like if you got a scorer like Justin, and you have.
We have James Wynn too. He's a force to be reckoned with. You heard that right here, first take. All right. James Wynn for MIP. James Wynn for MIP.
All I have to say is
he's dropping 30 on you.
Will you let me talk? All I have to say is the 1-2 punch of guards with Justin being the all-around great scorer he is, and then Norm being the great facilitator, and both playing excellent defense against this Iowa team. I actually can see Villanova being a very formidable team in the playoffs as well.
Villanova. Next we got UNC versus FSU, and I'm sorry. Do you have anything to say about this?
Anyway, we have FSU winning against UNC 39-37. Dajour, that was pretty rough loss.
It was a rough game, yeah. I would have to say
low-scoring game too.
It was a very defensive game. I would say, like, this is the lowest scoring game that we've had this season. It was also the lowest scoring game of the week. All I have to say is really for FSU, their keys to the game was hitting threes. You had Jason Moore, MVP of the game. I would say 18 points. He's allergic to the paint. Like, he doesn't know what the paint is. He just pulls up Curry range.
That's all you need.
And then you also had Michael Bahamwinde. God, that game winner was incredible. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was on the court. I was upset at first, but then I was like, okay, they can't. Like, it was like just the awareness to not only grab the offensive rebound, but tip it in with like a second left. It's incredible. Wish we got that on film, but it's in my memory now, and I can't forget about it. And then for UNC, again, Kenny just leading the charge for us. I would say for us, we just have to find a way to get everyone more involved instead of just relying on one person to score or facilitate. We need to be more of a well-rounded team. Defensively, I feel like we're solid, as you can see by the fact that we only allowed 39 points versus, FSU, which is a very potent offense, I would assume, when they actually can hit their shots. But for us, we just have to be more of a offensive force. We just need to gain a better offense. What do you guys think about it?
Where were you?
I got 15 rebounds.
Anyway, right? We saw FSU bounce back from a really tough loss first week. What do you think went right this game for them?
Just having more trust in each other. Distributing the ball every now and then. And actually just getting back on defense. I think, honestly, not only with this game, but just most of all the games in general, those teams that need to step up on the defensive end really showed it out this coming week. So, everyone's actually getting the flow. I think they need to start, like, even though they had a win this one coming on, it was still a close call. So things to pick up on is, like, not always just relying on Jason Moore and Michael to be their, the offensive tandem. And for UNC, I think, early into that game, they were into a lot of foul trouble, to be honest. I remember, Chris Quinn coming in with, 3 fouls already, and he had to come out. And, he's a key player to that team. And, actually, I think what they need to do more is just, spreading the floor better, because it's always, Kenny flowing into the paint. And just creating an offense for Dajour Harris here. He came out with only 2 points.
No,
I mean, but like you're a big man, you got 15 rebounds though. I think you just need to be fed the ball more and get your shots in. Maybe chuck a few
I didn't say that. I didn't tell him to say this. No.
Like maybe chuck a few more threes.
Whoa, no, hold on. No.
Maybe you should dance with some people next time. So like, I think you'll be fine. I think maybe not like Nova though, but like I think you'll be fine.
I knew there was something.
Dang.
But we beat you guys.
I mean, yeah, they did beat you.
Yeah, but I didn't score 2 points that last game.
Yeah, you scored 0. What's up?
And finally for this week, we got UCF versus Michigan with a final score of UCF 59, UM 46. UCF, one of the very few teams that are now up 2-0 in the league. Tristan, what do you think? Like, what's going well for them, and what do you think has to improve on for Michigan, who are now 0-2 so far? So
honestly, UCF is just too good. They have great team chemistry. They have great veteran players. Chris Chen, James Wu, those Tyrese, definitely key players to their play. I didn't see much team play. David Cha, he put up another double-double, but other than that, I saw John Hale putting up a lot of shots, not making them. He missed a lot, so that's pretty much what I saw from UM. They just need to get more of their players involved. But Dajour, what's your take on this?
My take is basically agreeing with you what you said about UCF. Their veteran presence, I think, is a huge part of the reason why they're doing so well. With Chris Chen, James Wu, and Tyrese, they're not selfish at all. They know how to pass the ball. They know how to facilitate. They're not just looking for theirs. James Wu dropping double-double. Chris Chen almost getting his, I believe. And also, I think just UCF's role players are even better than some starters in this league, I would say right now. Like Victor Tuan, he's a starter, of course, but like he knows his role. He's not selfish at all. He knows that I'm still learning in this league how to do things. And then Andrew Garcia, he's not necessarily looking for a shot all the time, but when he does, he knocks them down. Like I saw him attempt 2 threes and make both of them, and was when the team needed them. It's not necessarily just putting up just to get his numbers in. He dropped 6 points off of those 2, and that's all they needed essentially. And for I would just say it's more, not necessarily a chemistry issue, but just finding each other more. I see a lot of just either John Hale putting up a floater, but then no one there to like help him get the rebound, and then David Cha, driving to the paint again, but also no one helping him to get the rebound. So I think more or less they get out of each other's way more, which is not necessarily terrible chemistry because they trust in their player, but at the same time you need that backup to help you get those offensive boards when they do miss.
I mean, they're showing flashes of them understanding how to facilitate the ball. I mean, there are a couple times where they know how to kick it out to Michael when he had a wide open shot
or 2,
yeah, exactly. So I guess they just need to get better at creating space for themselves and just playing some good team basketball. Alright, that wraps it up for week 2 of the FBA College Game Day. Dajour, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Shut up, Dajour.
Look.
I am your president,
and I'm your sports
president.
Wow. Can I quit now? Can I not be sport? I'm gonna go Vasa. Can I be your cultural chair? Please? I don't even.
Okay,
fine. Fine, I don't need this.
Ryan, you're hired.
They had it.
You're a new sports coordinator, everybody.
I'm about to dominate the league.